Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Jake and Emily podcast. I'm Emily, your energetic American host, and I am so pumped to be here with you today.
And I'm Jake, your slightly more, let's say, composed British host. It's a pleasure to have you all tuning in once again. Whether you're commuting to work, doing the dishes, or just relaxing at home, we're glad you've chosen to spend your time with us.
Exactly. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Our goal here is simple. We provide slow, clear, long-form English podcasts. We use natural phrases, common idioms, and real-life topics to help you bridge the gap between textbook English and real-world English.
Today's topic is something everyone can relate to, the weekend. We're going to talk about what we do, how we feel, and why those 2 days of the week are so precious to us. But before we dive into our Saturday and Sunday stories, we have a small request.
Yes, if you find this podcast helpful for your English journey, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. It helps us grow and keep making these episodes for you. Also, we highly recommend using the shadowing technique.
For those who don't know, shadowing is when you listen to us and repeat what we say almost immediately after we say it. Mimic our intonation, our speed, and our emotion. It's one of the best ways to improve your pronunciation and fluency.
So, if you're ready to level up your English, let's get started. Jake, how was your weekend? Did you do anything exciting, or were you just being your usual philosophical self?
Well, Emily, I must admit, I didn't climb any mountains or jump out of any planes. My Friday actually started with quite a bit of stress. I was buried under a mountain of paperwork at the office. I honestly thought I'd never finish.
Oh no, the classic Friday afternoon crunch. That's the worst. You're looking at the clock, counting down the minutes until 5 p.m., but the emails just keep coming.
Precisely. I was worried I'd have to work through the evening, but luckily I managed to get my ducks in a row by 4:30. I shut down my laptop, took a deep breath, and felt that incredible Friday feeling wash over me.
There is nothing like that feeling. It's like a weight being lifted off your shoulders. For me, my Friday was actually pretty chill. I made sure to finish all my chores during the week so I could have a completely clean weekend. No laundry, no grocery shopping, just pure freedom.
That's very disciplined of you, Emily. I usually end up doing my grocery shopping on Saturday morning, which I find quite therapeutic, actually. I like the smell of the fresh bread at the bakery and the sight of all the colorful vegetables.
Therapeutic? Jake, grocery shopping on a Saturday is my version of a nightmare. It's so crowded. Everyone is pushing their carts, kids are running around. I prefer to hit the hay early on Friday night so I can wake up early on Saturday and enjoy the silence.
I can see the appeal of that. On Saturday morning, I usually wake up without an alarm. That's my favorite luxury. I make a proper pot of tea, Earl Grey, of course, and I sit by the window for about 30 minutes just watching the birds.
That sounds so British of you. My Saturday morning is a bit more high energy. I usually head straight to the local farmer's market. I love the hustle and bustle. I grab a large iced coffee, chat with the vendors, and buy some fresh flowers. It makes me feel connected to my community.
Connecting with the community is important. I think in our modern world, we spend so much time behind screens that we forget the simple pleasure of a good morning to a neighbor or a short chat with a shopkeeper.
Totally. After the market, I usually meet up with some friends for brunch. Brunch is like a religion in my city. We talk about work, dating, movies. Sometimes we stay there for 2 hours just sipping mimosas and laughing. It's the perfect way to let your hair down.
I'm more of a long walk in the woods kind of person on a Saturday afternoon. I find that nature helps me clear my head. If I've had a difficult week, walking among the trees helps me realize that most of my problems are actually quite small in the grand scheme of things.
You know, Jake, I've noticed we have very different styles. I'm a big planner. I have my Saturday mapped out by Wednesday. If I don't have a plan, I feel like I'm wasting my time. Does that make sense?
It does, but I think there's a danger in over-planning. If you schedule every minute, where's the room for magic? Where's the room for the unexpected?
I guess, but if I don't plan, I end up sitting on my couch scrolling through my phone for 3 hours, and then I feel guilty. I feel like I missed the boat on a productive day.
Ah, the guilt of the unproductive weekend. That's a very modern struggle. We feel like we have to achieve something, even on our days off. But sometimes the most productive thing you can do is absolutely nothing.
I struggle with that. This past Sunday, for example, I had planned to go for a 5-mile run, clean my entire kitchen, and meal prep for the whole week. But I woke up feeling so tired. My body was just saying, "No, Emily, not today."
And did you listen to your body?
Eventually, yes. I stayed in bed until 11 a.m. reading a mystery novel. At first, I was beating myself up about it. I kept thinking about all the things I should be doing.
We are our own harshest critics. Sunday is supposed to be a day of rest. In the past, shops were closed and the world slowed down. Now, the world never stops, so we have to manually turn off our brains.
You're right. Once I gave myself permission to relax, I actually had a great time. I ended up calling my mom and we talked for an hour. It wasn't productive in a work sense, but it was productive for my soul.
Exactly. I had a similar experience on Saturday evening. I was invited to a party, but I really wasn't in the mood. I felt like I should go because I hadn't seen those friends in a while, but I was just exhausted.
So, did you go or did you give it a miss?
I gave it a miss. I stayed home, cooked a simple pasta dish, and listened to some old Jaws records. It was exactly what I needed. Sometimes being honest with yourself about your energy levels is the most important skill you can have.
I agree, but I also think there's something to be said for forcing yourself to go out. Sometimes when I'm feeling lazy, if a friend drags me out to a concert or a museum, I end up having the time of my life. It's all about balance, I guess.
Let's talk about the Sunday Scaries. Do you get those, Emily? That feeling of anxiety that starts to creep in around 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon?
Oh, absolutely. Every single week. It's like this dark cloud that starts to gather. You realize the weekend is almost over and Monday morning is looming. You start thinking about all the meetings, the deadlines, and the to-do lists.
It's a very common phenomenon. It's interesting, isn't it? We spend all week waiting for the weekend, and then we spend half of the weekend worrying about the week ahead. It's a bit of a tragedy.
It really is. How do we stop it? How can we actually enjoy the last few hours of our Sunday without feeling like we're waiting for an execution? Laughs nervously.
Well, I think it comes down to mindfulness. It's a buzzword these days, but the core idea is simple. Stay in the present moment. If you're eating a delicious Sunday dinner, focus on the taste of the food, not the meeting you have at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Easier said than done, Jake. My brain is like a runaway train.
I know. One thing that helps me is to have a Sunday ritual, something I look forward to on Sunday evening that has nothing to do with work. For me, it's a long hot bath and a specific podcast. Not our own, obviously. That would be a little vain.
Yeah, that would be a little vain. My Sunday ritual is usually skincare and a movie. I do a face mask, put on my cozy pajamas, and watch something lighthearted. Nothing too heavy or depressing.
That sounds lovely. It's about creating a buffer zone between the relaxation of the weekend and the intensity of the work week. We need that transition.
You know, Jake, thinking about it, the weekend is really a metaphor for life. We have these short bursts of time to enjoy ourselves, and we often spend them either dwelling in the past or worrying about the future.
That's a very deep thought, Emily. You're right. The weekend is a finite resource. It's 48 hours, or maybe 60 if you count Friday night. When we look back at our lives, we won't remember the emails we sent on a Tuesday afternoon. We'll remember the picnics, the walks, the late-night conversations with friends.
It makes me want to be more intentional. Instead of just getting through the week to reach the weekend, maybe we should try to bring a little bit of that weekend energy into our weekdays.
I love that idea. Why wait for Saturday to have a nice breakfast? Why wait for Sunday to read a book for an hour? If we treat ourselves better during the week, maybe the weekend won't feel like such a desperate escape.
Do you have a favorite weekend memory from when you were a kid? I remember my dad used to take us to the lake every Sunday. We would pack a cooler with sandwiches and just swim until our skin got all wrinkly.
Those are the best memories. For me, it was rainy Sundays in England. My grandmother would bake a traditional Sunday roast: beef, roasted potatoes, Yorkshire puddings. The whole house smelled like home. We would sit around the table for hours, just talking. No phones, no TV, just family.
It's funny how the simplest things are the ones that stick with us. It's never the expensive vacations or the fancy events. It's the boring Sundays that feel the most meaningful now.
It's because those moments are filled with presence. When you're a child, you don't have a to-do list. You aren't worried about your career. You are just there.
I want to get back to that feeling. This coming weekend, I'm going to try to do something totally new. I think I'm going to try a pottery class. I've always wanted to try it, but I've been sitting on the fence for months.
Pottery, that sounds wonderful and messy. It's a great way to engage your hands and turn off your analytical brain. I, on the other hand, am going to try to do the big nothing.
The big nothing? Is that a new philosophy?
It's my own philosophy. I'm going to spend one whole afternoon with no plans, no phone, and no goals. If I want to stare at a wall, I'll stare at a wall. If I want to walk in circles, I'll walk in circles.
Good luck with that. I'd probably go crazy within 20 minutes, but I admire the goal. I think our listeners should try something similar, even if it's just for 1 hour. Put the phone away and just be.
Absolutely. And if you're listening to this to learn English, remember that your brain needs rest to process everything you're learning. You can't study 24/7. Your downtime is actually when the learning sticks.
That's such a good point. Sleep and relaxation are part of the learning process, so don't feel guilty for taking a break.
Now, as promised, let's look at some of the idioms we used today. This is the part where you can really practice your shadowing.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Get your ducks in a row.
To be well prepared or organized for a task, I need to get my ducks in a row before I start the new project on Monday.
Hit the hay.
To go to bed or go to sleep. I'm exhausted after this long week. I think I'm going to hit the hay early tonight.
Hustle and bustle.
A large amount of activity and work, usually in a noisy or crowded place. I love the hustle and bustle of the city market on a Saturday morning.
Let your hair down.
To relax and enjoy yourself without worrying about what other people think. The weekend is the perfect time to let your hair down and have some fun with friends.
Miss the boat.
To be too late to take advantage of an opportunity. If you don't book the ticket soon, you'll miss the boat on the early bird discount.
Beat yourself up.
To criticize yourself severely, usually for a mistake or for not being productive. Don't beat yourself up just because you didn't finish everything on your list.
Give it a miss.
To decide not to do something or not to go somewhere. I'm feeling a bit tired, so I think I'll give the party a miss tonight.
Sitting on the fence.
To be undecided about something. To not take a side or make a choice. I've been sitting on the fence about buying a new car for months now.
Under the weather.
To feel slightly ill or not as well as usual. I was going to go hiking this weekend, but I've been feeling a bit under the weather.
Piece of cake.
Something that is very easy to do. I thought learning this idiom would be hard, but it's actually a piece of cake.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Wow, Jake, I feel more relaxed just talking about the weekend.
I agree. It's always good to reflect on how we spend our time. To our listeners, thank you so much for sticking with us through this long-form conversation. We hope you found the vocabulary and the flow of the English helpful.
Remember, the key to English fluency is consistency. Listen to this episode multiple times. Use the shadowing technique we mentioned at the beginning. The more you hear these patterns, the more natural they will become for you.
We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell us, what did you do last weekend? Try to use at least one of the idioms we covered today in your comment. We promise to read them.
Yes, tell us about your hustle and bustle, or if you decided to hit the hay early. We can't wait to read your stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Until next time, take care of yourselves and have a wonderful week and an even better weekend.
Bye-bye, everyone.